If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your favorite words I would show.
Yes! Happy Monday to everyone in the sports universe. This is the AM Drive on October 23rd, 2023, and we are live. Where are we live from? In Las Vegas, Nevada. That's Aaron Crouch. I am Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. Aaron, how was your weekend? Please tell me you watched sports this time.
I did watch sports. I watched a lot of sports, bet sports. I was back into it. College football, despite my AM Drive 5, which we'll go over, college football was very lucrative for me. The NFL was not. So gambling is a fickle hobby. Let's put it that way.
That's right. A lot of my friends are doing prize picks now, and my buddy's about to hit a 5-legger, and all I have to do is watch Steph Curry score more than half a point on Tuesday night's opener until he blows out his ACL in the first quarter. But that's how that stuff works.
I have to look into the prize picks. Interesting.
It's not bad. I mean, it looks like it's one of the it's parlay crap, but you know it's cheap. I've seen.
I like cheap parlays.
Woo! MikeandAaronDrive.com, because we're cheap and you're not. Head to there to get our sponsors, shops, socials, and YouTube all in one place. And remember, 63 people have now subscribed. Is that you? If not, why, sir? Why? Yes, good, Aaron.
Or ma'am.
Oh, yeah, man. Or whatever you want to be called. AM Drive.
You know what?
5.
Today I'd like to call out Joshua. Joshua, if you're watching this, subscribe to the AM Drive.
Yeah, Josh
You
has
have
got
to
to
do
watch it, dude.
You have to do it.
You got to be careful with that, man. Josh is he's all over the place with the subscribing. And I was like, he wants to. It's like, oh, I don't have time. Yes, you do.
Yeah, now you've been a double dog dared. Yep.
Oh.
You got to.
All right, AM Drive 5 recap. I went 4-1, and thankfully I did because Dolphins apparently had a chance to tie in the fourth quarter. I was at work, but whatever. So that covered the 2.5. I thought it was pretty easy there. We both picked the Rams in different spots, and this gross. And that we'll get to that. But we went 6-4 for the week total. Another positive week. It's funny how like one of us always holds it down. So if you do single game stuff here, you're making a plus money. And I think you're back to 500, so we're still doing well anyways.
And I think we're still cumulative. How do you say that word?
Cumulatively
above 500.
Yes.
I think you're
like
2 or 3
20 and
games?
15 now.
20 and
I'm
15.
plus
Wow.
5 now. Yeah.
There you go. And I'm still 500. It's the craziest thing. Like when I'm sitting here handicapping the week and looking at it, I'm like, okay, these are the picks I like for the drive, and these are the picks I like to put money on. And I mean, thankfully, personally, the picks I like to put money on are being successful. But those of you who are tailing me are probably wanting to beat your head against the wall. But I mean, taking bad beats here. Now, I like you said, with the Rams, we'll get into it here. But I mean, the Army game with 32, they almost got covered twice. It was 63-0. They almost got covered the spread twice in that one. So the unfortunate track meet of USC Utah was pretty brutal. And lucky to get the freaking Chiefs over. I don't know if you saw that.
That was weird.
41 points in the first half, and we get 7 in the second. I mean, that's just insane to me. But
that game started at 48.5, so you got lucky on the 47.5.
I definitely did. It went down and then actually went back up. It closed at 48 because I bet it again at 48. And
wow.
After watching the first half, I'm like, oh, that's in the bag. Ugh.
Never in the bag, Aaron.
Yep. When am I going to learn?
Well, more negativity here. What is your worst of the weekend, sir? This should be fun.
So my worst of the weekend actually kind of ties into the AM Drive 5 here. Now, not to say that the Rams would have done anything with this, but I don't know who amongst you out there in NFL Twitter fandom or X fandom, I guess, saw this egregious spotting of the ball on 4th down and 1 in the Rams Steelers game. Kenny Pickett came nowhere close. He literally took the snap and fell straight down. He was at least he probably lost yards, if not even getting back to the line of scrimmage. And they gave him the most favorable spot I've seen in quite some time in the history of refs rigging games. And they gave him the first down and the game, yada this, yada that. But I think the worst of the weekend has got to be the refs or whoever picked up the Buffalo Wild Wings phone and called in that they needed the first down there. Now, yes, we both had Rams money line and Rams -3. I don't know what would happen if they tie it up, they get an overtime, anything. You still could have lost. But the point being is that that if you haven't seen that, it's one of the most egregious spottings of a ball I have seen in a long time. I'm probably going to post it on our Twitter so that way people can kind of get a reference of my worst of the weekend here.
I'll do that now because it's not my worst, but I'm just letting people know. In addition to that, the Colts were, granted they allowed 39 points eventually, but whatever. They had the Browns dead to rights. PJ Walker had literally fumbled the ball, but then they call this weird illegal contact penalty on this guy named Baker Jr., who was apparently a backup, because Amari Cooper runs into him.
I saw that one too.
Backpedaling. And then on top of that, they stop him again. And Baker's like, they're hand fighting the back of the end zone, the ball's not even catchable. And this commentator was like, I don't even think Calvin Johnson would have caught this ball.
Yeah, I did see that one. Here? Almost hit the stanchions that hold up the stands. So it was so far out of bounds. I had a Cleveland -2.5 bet. So once I realized they weren't covering, I wanted them to lose. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty bad call.
I had Colts +3.5 on my Action Network bets.
Good job, sir. I mean, the NFL was unkind to me this weekend, very much so, and that's okay though. We still came out with a positive weekend.
My worst of the weekend though was the Astros, because who doesn't love them at this point, right?
Your worst of the weekend was Cleveland.
No, that was just piggybacking on what you said.
Okay.
I feel like it was time to give my Colts some love there.
Oh, okay. Are you a Colts fan?
I only got an alternate uniform too. That was nice. No,
that thing was ugly.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was like the blue looks kind of weird. It was very it looked like a denim jeans.
With the stripes down. Yeah, I didn't like that. That was not a good look.
It looked better on the hype videos. Anyways, Astros, thankfully this is going to a game 7 tonight. But in game 5 on Friday, I'm watching it. First of all, I love the pitch clock of Major League Baseball. There was multiple hits within 5 minutes. And it was like electricity, even more so in the playoffs. But what I did not like was when this guy, I forgot his last name, but one of the stars for the Rangers hits a big-time home run to give the Rangers the lead. Then he kind of walks slowly and then slams the bat down, but he's happy. No one's mad at him. Apparently the Astros were mad at him because they pegged him the next time, and then they all tried to claim, we wouldn't do that in that moment. Yes, you would. You're the Houston Astros. And freaking Dusty Baker, is that the manager's name?
Of the Astros.
So Dusty Baker rarely postpones the game for like 10 extra minutes because he would not leave the game after being ejected. So then you got this Abreu guy who gets ejected. The Rangers player gets ejected because he got in the face of the catcher. But it's like the Houston Astros again show people why they're the slimiest organization. I'm glad the Rangers came back and won Game 6 and pretty much dominated Game 6. And it looks like the road team's going to win every game, which is not good for Game 7. But it's so stupid. Like, the Astros continue to be slimy. And, of course, the guy who is the go-ahead home run in that game was Jose Altuve. I was rubbed so wrong because it's just baseball. They're either cheating with steroids, they're sign stealing, or they're pegging people for hitting a home run. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a large contingent of baseball fans who are just anti-Astro as long as this regime and these players are in place. Bregman, Altuve, Alvarez, all these guys. Dusty wasn't a part of that, but now he's trying to not trying, but he's also adding his name in the mold here. I think the Ranger who was Garcia, I forget his first name, but
Yeah,
the guy who,
Araldis Garcia or something like that.
yeah, something like that.
He's Cuban.
Yeah,
But,
but yeah, the Astros. You know, I'll piggyback your worst, and the Astros, that go ahead, that 3-run shot by Altuve, I hate that.
that was gross.
It's so gross.
And I tweeted out that, like, in a previous, like, at bat he hit one to left field, and the left fielder made, like, a great catch on it. The next at bat, he hits a home run over his head. Well, that'll solve that.
Yeah, I'm not a Rangers fan by any stretch, but just I felt for the Rangers fans, and I felt for that. Just of all the players, Jose Altuve. Ugh.
Best of the weekend.
My best of the weekend, I wanted to say Bill Belichick's 300 wins. You know, who he did it against, how the Bills, and how they've been just the Patriots have been such a bum in the AFC East for the last this year. But I think it's got to be the Ravens. I mean, all the talk this week: Lions. Can the Lions take over the NFC? The NFC, are they the next dynasty? And the Ravens shut all that up. I mean, it instantly. Like the Lions never got off the bus in this game. Just these are the Ravens. I think we talked about it last week on Friday's show. These are the Ravens. They get up to play these games. That's why it's so mind-boggling to me that they can't handle these inferior teams, lesser opponents as well as they can when they know there's important stuff on the line. I mean, Lamar Jackson looked like a stud, 4 touchdowns. So my best of the weekend is Baltimore. I mean, I don't know how long that lasts, but for right now, yeah, Baltimore clearly looked like the best team this weekend for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, their defense combined with Lamar doing those things is nice.
Yeah, if he stays healthy and this stays on a roll, I mean, maybe my 2 straight year Super Bowl pick can roll over to a 3rd year.
Yes. My best of the weekend, ironically, was almost Mac Jones and Bill Belichick, but that didn't work out for me either. My best of the weekend is Shepherd Rams alumni Tyson Bagent, who I called Tim on Friday's show until I looked it up.
Yeah, but now he's on the map. Now you know who he is.
Right, and everyone's writing articles. Who is this guy? Well, I'll tell you a little bit of backstory. Division II, like I mentioned Friday, but he apparently won the Heisman equivalent in Division II college football, for what it's worth. Actually lit up his last 3 or 4 years. I'm talking like 40 touchdowns and like 6 interceptions multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
But dude can ball. And granted, there was a lot of conservative checkdowns in this game. But I said it was funny. Last week, he came in random relief work. People were like, who is this guy? And he played pretty well and actually held on, I think, through the interception, but almost won the game. And this week, you're thinking, Raiders have got this one in the back. This is Tyson Bagent. No, maybe because there's no tape on him, but whatever it was, kid's a gamer. He's a gamer, and sometimes those guys find ways to win games.
I tell you, I thought the strongest unit in that game this weekend would have been the defense for the Raiders in it. And I know there was a pick six, obviously, but they just weren't. And obviously, we'd be getting way too ahead of ourselves to say that like he should be the starter over Justin Fields, get rid of Fields. But if it's performances like this, continue down the stretch. I don't know how long Fields is out, but it may be time to start questioning. I mean, he's a true pocket presence quarterback. He has the ability to run. I mean, I watched this game probably the most out of any in the early slate, just simply because our job features Raider games. So, in terms of the promotion and everything. And so this is the game I watched probably the closest. And yeah, I liked what I saw out of him. Now I'll take it with a grain of salt right now. Let's see what he can do against better teams. But there might be a controversy in Chicago.
He was throwing like sidearms. I was like, what is this guy, Patrick Mahomes over here?
I mean, for right now, he's got nothing to lose. He's playing with house money. He's Division II. He somehow found his way onto an NFL roster. Like, he's playing with house money right now. And sometimes that's all you need to just stick around and, have a good, great career. We'll see. I mean, like, let's bump the brakes on all that stuff. But I dig it. I dig it. What's his name? Tyson Bagent?
Tyson Bagent, that's a great name.
Yeah, I kind of dig it.
All right. I want to give a Vice golf clap before I move on here. For the Las Vegas Aces for winning their second championship. I know Aaron's in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they punked the Liberty. I just want to mention that because I didn't get to that.
I am curious where they're going to do the parade this year, because last year they did the parade on the Strip, but this year the parade the Strip is just all Formula One'd out. So I'm curious what maybe they'll go downtown to like Fremont or something. It'd be interesting.
Are y'all excited for F1?
Not in the slightest.
Fair, but are they more excited for the WNBA? Like, be honest, because it's the hometown Aces.
I mean, it's exciting. I mean, I'm like we actually, when I was at work, we watched the final game. Like the final game was on multiple TVs. Like people were actually requesting. I mean, that doesn't happen. Now I know that's the finals versus like maybe a regular season game, but people were actually requesting to watch the game. So I mean, I do see a slight uptick if it's just exposure, or I don't know if it's actually translating to dollars, but I do see a slight uptick in interest in the WNBA, and maybe that's the ESPN effect. I don't know, but
Florida State survived. Speaking of Aaron's team, God, this is a youth show today. Patriots won, blah blah blah, whatever. Florida State survived, and I mean the score was 38 to 20.
That's the right word.
38 to 20. I mean that's what everyone was saying. They survived because apparently it was close early. How are you feeling about the Seminoles?
I think they just keep on rolling. I mean, they're a gritty team. They're not flashy. You know, they do what they need to do. I mean, their people are right. Survived, I don't think is the right word, because they were down in the first half by 3 points, and they came out and literally just dominated the second half. So I don't know if survived. I think you know, made some changes at halftime, whatever you want to call it. It came out adjusted. Florida State adjusts and then dominates the second half. It was 21-0 in the second half, I believe. So for me, I still have them as a top 5 team. You'll find out Wednesday. Spoiler alert.
Woo!
But I think if you match them up with anybody else in the league, I don't see why they're not. I don't see why they can't just belong on the same field. I don't know if they're the best team. I don't know if they're a playoff team. I do think they're a top 5 team. We got a lot of season left. It's crazy how you start to see some of this stuff. You saw Washington. I mean, people might not have saw Washington because it was so late.
Arizona State might be good defensively.
Washington struggled. You know, Oregon comfortably won, but not by a ton.
Texas barely won against
Houston. Yeah, Texas 7-point win. Like, you know, there's no team to me that says if Florida State stepped on the field with them, they got no shot. And I don't see a team like that. So
that's a good point. Also, it also helps that Virginia upset North Carolina in the same week.
That is true. That will be a fun matchup if that ends up being the conference title game, though, with US or with FSU and UNC.
Presented by the stupid Dr. Pepper commercials. Caleb Williams.
Won't it be presented by that mayonnaise or whatever?
Is it the Duke? No, it can't be Duke's Mayo.
No, but I think the Duke's Mayo Bowl is always in like North Carolina or whatever. I don't know.
I thought ACC had Dr. Pepper, but whatever.
Oh, they might. Yeah, you're right.
Caleb Williams is falling. I mean, like last 3 games now, he has not looked great. Ever since the second half of that Colorado game, I don't know what Deion Sanders and those boys did to that guy in the second half, but they found like I remember like they were like shutting him down in the second half. That's why Colorado was able to almost come back. Thanks a lot, Deion. And then like the next 2 games, he's been not very good. Now, granted, Arizona State, like I said, looked very good against Michael Penix Jr. So that could also be a thing. But then this game against Utah, say all you want, man. Like they're playing a backup quarterback, and they've got the number of this guy right now. What's going on with Caleb and even Drake May, for that matter?
Yeah, I'll start with Caleb here. Yeah, you're right. The triple overtime game was against Arizona, not Arizona State. But I get what you're saying. Arizona State played them close earlier in the season. They only lost by 14. You know, it's wild to think here. You know, what is he doing? Because it seems like the more and more he demands and the more his name is talked about in drafts and, all this
like
and that,
going
it
this
seems like the
way.
worse he's playing. So when you come off of a 3-week stretch like this, where your high is 256 in passing yards, and then start asking for team ownership, like trying to open up a door that's never existed before, like it's a bold strategy, I guess. But, I don't know. It's hard to say this is all on Caleb Williams from a team standpoint, but he's not playing the greatest. I understand that. So you have to look at it from two different aspects. We knew that USC's defense was going to be bad. We called it from the start, especially when San Jose State got 4 touchdowns on them. But Caleb's not doing himself any favor. Like if USC ends up in a track meet with somebody, they can't hang. Now, I know you look at these scores, it's like, well, Colorado 48-41. Well, remember, USC got out to a substantial lead. Like they didn't have to. I mean, that's probably his last big game. I mean, that was what, a month ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 5 touchdowns in the first half and 300 yards, and Colorado obviously made that comeback. I don't know if it's anything Dion and his team did to him, but they're getting into, I guess you could call it, the meat of their schedule. I mean, you look at all these teams. Like you said, like I'll go back to Washington, 15-7. Is that what we thought from like the 6th best team in the country? Like, Penn State finally, we've typed up Penn State all these years, and every year they go down to Ohio State and Michigan and lose. They're just not on that same level. We have all these guys. They're getting into the meat of these conference schedules, and we always talk about these teams like, oh, Utah, they're done. Blah, they got lambasted by Oregon State, this, that, and the other. But then somehow they find a way to just always have Caleb Williams' number. Caleb Williams has never beaten Utah. He's 0-3 in the last 2 years. So
that's bad.
I mean, getting back to just Caleb Williams itself, it's like, despite the fact that he's not playing that well, do you really see anybody else better that's draft eligible?
The problem with that is like he's in a Lincoln Riley offense. And that was my point about this. Is that I've seen this Baker guy come through.
That's
I've
fair.
seen him light up college. This freak athlete with a big arm. I thought the same thing about Kyler Murray, and that is, I mean, even if you take away the study habits or lack thereof, it's like I don't see what I saw in college.
No,
it's bad.
It's a fair assessment. I mean, this is how guys like Tyson Bagent end up on a roster, because there are.
Yeah.
I mean, if every number 1 pick or first round pick panned out, there'd be no reason for 90% of quarterbacks to play college football or play pro football.
I do have one question to ask before we move on here. How bad is it that, I mean, I've never heard of a college football player ever like even trying to attempt the team ownership thing. How bad is that? Do you think an NFL team like hates that? Like they have to not be happy about that. Like, on what nerve of level do you have to say that?
If this guy was playing at like an Andrew Luck type level, or
even then,
but this is where I'm starting here. Like, I'm trying to think of another quarterback who's just lit it up. Joe Burrow, the LSU season type level. I could understand the demands with, I can understand why you're doing it. I mean, it's the old tactic of shoot for the moon and land amongst the stars. Like, he's now basically saying with NIL money, which may or may not be true, I don't know, but with NIL money, he's not forced to come out. So he's basically saying these other teams who are, desperate for a quarterback or are going to be drafting at the top. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong right now, but don't like the Bears have like the first 2 picks with the Panthers being so bad? I think
that's nice.
I think they have picks 1 and 2 due to the fact that
they have Tyson Bagent. Who needs Caleb Williams? I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. and whoever else we get.
But my point is that I understand why him and his camp is trying something unprecedented. But you're right. Like, these NFL teams are not going to start opening up doors. Can you imagine, like, excuse me? Can you imagine, like, oh, who owns the Chiefs? Oh, or no, that's not a good example. Like, who owns the Raiders? Oh, it's Mark Davis with 52%, and then it's like, oh, 2% from Caleb Williams. Max Crosby owns 0.5%. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he signed that contract, has 3%. Like, they're not going to do that, because once you open up the door for one, What player is not going to want team ownership in their contract?
I thought it wasn't allowed though. That's
Is
what I'm
it
saying.
not
Like,
allowed? Oh,
like,
with the
'cause
Brady thing, I remember.
Yeah, because I was saying like if Brady couldn't do it, why does they think this Caleb Williams guy like? It shows like their level of intellect here. Like, what are they talking about?
Well, it might be a post-career kind of situation.
That's what I'm saying. But like, why would they say that though before he gets drafted? It's just weird.
I'm just saying. I understand different avenues, different income streams, but I mean, if you could set yourself up with 5% of an NFL team after you play whenever your career is officially over, I mean, who's going to say no to that? I mean, so it's I don't hate it. It's tacky for sure, but it comes across even more ridiculous the way he's been playing the last month.
It's almost like he got cocky. Like you know, it's like what I see with the running backs. You work all these years for this moment, and then you start acting a fool. It's like, oh, now all of a sudden you're replaceable. It's kind of weird how that works.
Well, I mean,
your mindset is.
I don't think they really solved anything. I mean, look at Jonathan Taylor. I mean, Saquon Barkley's having a decent year. I mean,
but he hyperextended his elbow again.
Yeah, shocker. He's already missed what, 3 games or so. So it's not like
he hurt his elbow now.
Yeah, I mean the running back situation. If anything, I think that Jonathan Taylor so far has thrown these other running backs even deeper into us. The owners have to be even more "I told you so" at this point.
You saw what I said last week when you were in here.
No, please.
I ranted on Jonathan Taylor because he was like, "I've changed and I've helped us out." Like, not the way Zach Moss is playing. It seemed like you were replaceable, like everyone thought you were.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get back into the fold. But I mean, still, even like I said, not a lot of these guys are worth $14 million, and Jonathan Taylor's proving that again. But McCaffrey's hurt again too. I mean, that's the highest paid running back. He's hurt. We don't know if he's going to play tonight, so we'll see.
That was the show. I'm kidding.
Pretty much. That was a hell of a first segment. Jeez.
Woo! We'll be right back to the AM Drive. There's more football to talk about, we think.
All right, welcome back to Monday edition of the AM Drive. It's getting a little chilly out there. The hoodie is actually now apropos for wearing, not just because it's awesome, but because it's getting a little cold out there. So break out the hoodies, the AM Drive hoodies, break out the smokers, and hit up our friends at Agridime for the best meat to put in that smoker. Go to MikeandAaronDrive.com, click the cow logo, looks just like that. When you go into the store, put everything in the cart. Don't even question it. Just add to cart. They got the best high-quality meats. And, of course, we're going to take a little bit of money off there for you. Use promo code AMDrive for 10% off your order. Tell them where you got it. Tell them who sent you. Agridime, AM Drive. Sounds like it almost rhymes, but it's a match made in heaven.
Match made in meat heaven, and don't name the cow if you invest.
Hashtag don't name the cow.
Right, especially if you're going to kill it for cheese. That was bad.
Jesus.
Right. Eagles defeated the Dolphins 31-17 on Sunday Night Football. Carrie Underwood's been warming up, but she didn't need to for this game. Dolphins had a chance to tie it late. Fantastic. They still got dominated the line of scrimmage. Tua and Tyreek did, next to nothing compared to their standards that they've set for the media and everybody else. Eagles won this game like I thought they would. They controlled the game 31-17. They pulled away late. A.J. Brown is like 5 games in a row with 125 plus receiving yards. That's nuts. Yeah. Eagles are just a better team right now.
Yeah, he tied Calvin Johnson and someone else for tied all time, so he can break that next week. Yeah, this was an interesting spot because I thought the Dolphins defense played pretty admirably, all things considered. They just too many times on the field. This is what it was crazy. The Jets never bent, never broke in the fact that their offense couldn't get anything going, so the Jets defense kept getting put on the field last week against the Eagles. Miami had the same problem, and they just weren't good enough. The Eagles finally broke through. Obviously, tush pushes. I do like that they call it the brotherly shove. I like that one too. But good Lord, how crazy it is that that's such an unstoppable play. But just for them, it's not unstoppable for everybody else. Like everybody else, nobody else can seem to do it. Yeah, I thought Tua played okay. I thought Hurts played really good. He was a little inaccurate. There was a couple of throws from Jalen Hurts that, if he actually threw it accurately, like those tush pushes didn't even happen. Like the AJ Brown one on third down where he threw it behind him so AJ couldn't reach over and get the first down. Anyways, that's semantics here. I thought both teams actually didn't play a bad game. The Dolphins just didn't have the offensive firepower that everybody's still expecting from that 70-point outburst. I don't think the Dolphins, as I look at them right now, this is early in the season. I don't think the Dolphins can hang with complete teams.
Agreed.
We talked about like the Chiefs, if they have to go down to Miami come playoff time. I don't think the Dolphins can hang out with them right now.
Agreed.
What do we make of the Bills? I don't know, but they're a finesse team. But this Eagles team, I know they lost to the Jets and it was a bad game, and you can place blame wherever you want. But this Eagles team, when you look at them from top to bottom, it's a complete roster of I don't see a weakness. It's a complete roster of studs.
And I think it's better than the 49ers roster because I trust Jalen Hurts more. I trust in the trenches, I could see the Eagles beating them.
Yeah.
That could be like an evenly I think Eagles, and I know it's like overreacting every week, but I really have felt this, like when you build a team from the trenches out and you still have the studs like AJ Brown and such, they can beat anybody.
I can find weaknesses in San Francisco. Like you said, like with Kittle hurt, Debo's been out for 2-3 games. Like their offensive weapons just don't stay healthy. So that's a big question mark heading into the playoffs. Is like, if this is a playoff matchup between Eagles and 49ers, like
who's out?
Who's gonna be there? Yeah. So I don't know. They're clearly head and shoulders 1 and 2, Eagles and 49ers. But Eagles to me showed that when they need to step up and play on the primetime stage, Hurts does just enough to win. He's not quite a game. He's a little better than a game manager, but he's not quite a Mahomes type superstar quarterback, and that's okay. It works exactly works for them.
If I had to pick one right now, this is the first time I can remember in years where both teams that went to the Super Bowl last year might just be there again this year, unless these pesky purple birds, Ravens, shut down the Lions 30-6. I'm telling you, you combine that defense with Lamar Jackson throwing the ball this well against the Lions defense, which has looked pretty formidable at times. And Ravens, I told you, Baltimore's a mysterious place to play, man, and they shut them down.
Yeah, this is a tough one because it's like, how do you address the Lions? Like I said, it was one of my best of the weekends because not only did we have the Ravens performance, but we had, people shutting up on the Lions, I guess you could say. I don't count out the Lions just yet because there is a factor that shows that if they can somehow find a way to get 2 or maybe possibly 3 home games, they got as good a shot as anybody to get to Super Bowl. On the road, we'll see.
That's right.
But yeah, it's just absolutely incredible performance by Lamar. 357. Nobody was expecting that. 4 touchdowns. They could do whatever they wanted on offense, but is this the norm or is this an isolated incident for the Ravens? Because they just can't seem to get consistency with this offense. If this is consistent, oh my God, look out. Like this is just a juggernaut. Gus Edwards has just been steadily a nice change of pace. But Lamar, like I said, Lamar's going back to running, timely. I guess timely running is really where I'm looking at it with this. And they handle their business. Lamar Jackson, this is the team I've I mean, obviously J.K. Dobbins. This is the team I've kind of seen for 3 years as my like Super Bowl contender, and I get flashes of it and I get excited, but I'm not ready to just say this is the norm yet. I want to see it consistently week in and week out. Now, do they need to beat teams by 32 points? No, but I want to see that offense actually consistently plays good football.
I think they could beat the Chiefs. I think it depends on where this game is at actually now. If that happens in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say that yet, but I already think if you line them up on a neutral field, they have a chance against anybody.
Agreed. Patriots, happy Bill Belichick. 29-25. And Bills actually came back in this game, and Mac Jones hung in and threw some darts on that last drive. I was impressed with Mac Jones finally. I mean, you had to be tough in that game because Bills brought the heat and like, okay, beat us, Mac Jones. And Mac Jones like, this one's for you, Belichick. It's almost like you wonder if this game was rigged. It's like, this was not supposed to happen, but 300 wins for Bill Belichick. Here it is. It's funny because I hadn't heard that stat since they've been losing, and all of a sudden I hear the stat. I'm like, that's very peculiar. But whatever. Patriots won.
Well, the one team they beat, which was the Jets, got him at 299. So he's been stuck
but it was
on.
I never heard about the 300 after that. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm curious if he's going to try to go for the record. Obviously, we know he signed an extension, but he's 28 wins away from tying it. So that could be 3-4 years or more. Yeah. So I mean, if he's 28 wins, if he wins 9 per year, he's still not there yet. So, the rig thing, that's funny, but you're right. I mean, this is the Bills.
That's true.
What do you say? They just play down to bad teams. I mean,
no. I've seen the Jets and the Patriots and the Giants have shown Bills opponents. If you punch this team in the mouth, they start to fold very quickly.
But who's the best team out of those three?
Bills, Patriots, and Giants, Patriots, and Jets.
Giant, Patriot, yeah.
Jets, but I feel like they all can get physical.
But I mean, let's be honest. If you had to put them, even if you're ranking them 1 through 3, where are you ranking them in the spectrum of the 32 teams?
Well, lower, but it's still like
they're still mid-20s teams.
Yeah, but it's like the Eagles struggling with the Jets and not with the Dolphins. Yeah, Dolphins are a better team, but if you can get rough and tough, it's like that. Those games that matters in the trenches.
Sure, like I said, I think the Jets are the best team out of all 3 of them consistently because of their defense. The thing is, you look at that Jets-Eagles game, and you were like, I don't care how many drives the Eagles stall on, as long as they don't do exactly what they did and throw that ugly interception. The Jets aren't beating them. They couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't move. That's why I didn't understand. Run the ball on 3rd down and just punt it away. Your defense has just destroyed them. I mean, Sirianni got cocky on that one. But I don't care what you say. I don't buy it. Like the Bills play down to bad teams. Are they a good team? Yes, they are a good team. Are they a great team? No, they're not. And that's why they will consistently be, I hate to say it, buddy, but I think they'll consistently be the Colts, the Peyton Manning Colts.
Well, I mean, shoot, they have to at least win 1 for that to happen. Come on, or make it to 2.
I think they might win 1. They might get a spot where like Mahomes goes down for a year. Burrow's seemingly out of the conversation this year. I don't know. We'll see. They're starting to play a little better. But I mean, I know the AFC.
I would take Bengals. I would take Dolphins at home. I would take Ravens. I would take Chiefs all over the Bills right now.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm not pumping them up as the number 1 team. I'm saying they're in the echelon of people that could reach a Super Bowl if they get hot, or at least they're going to make the playoffs. So let's call a spade a spade. They play down to bad teams. The Ravens do it too. So yeah, I mean, you don't give as much. You give more. I don't know. I know you have issues with Josh Allen, and that's fine. I understand that, but you can't dump on the Bills as harder than you dump on, say, the Ravens when they play. I mean, when they lost to Gardner Minshew and a backup quarterback, like that should not have happened at home. So Anyways, this is just a tough one. I don't know what to make of it other than just pure Belichick knew his opponent. And he still almost lost the game. I mean, I think what the crazy thing is how many points the defense gave up for the Bills, but you can't keep losing your best defensive players and expect that defense to still just be the juggernaut that it was at the start of the season. Like, they're losing Milano, Tre'Davious White. They're losing key players on defense. So, like, that matters. And
Milano might have made a difference in this game, actually.
And it's no disrespect to Josh Allen. He still didn't have that great of a game. But when your defense is giving up 29 points a game, like, that's not fair to any quarterback. Like, Mahomes' record, if his defense gave up 29 points a game, would be vastly different.
That's fair. Speaking of, Chiefs beat the Chargers 31-17. Aaron, you're feeling great. Chiefs, I mean, the first half is like, I guess Chiefs found out like what they could do and just put in the mail. I don't know what happened here.
I don't know what to say. I watched this game and look, I'm over the push, and I mean, I got the slight win. Obviously, that was cool. You know, the 0.5-point win, and the push on the actual bet. But I mean, like I said, the Chiefs came out, knew what they could do. They did it, but the defense didn't play well and left the Chargers in the game. It was what was it? Is it 24-17 at half? So the Chargers were in it. I mean, they were in it actually the entire time until that last touchdown with like 5 minutes left or whatever it was. But I might make a hot take here. I don't know.
Oh,
see if I want to say it, but it's just it's preliminary. It's preliminary, but I think it needs to be said is, when's Justin Herbert going to actually get some blame for losing these games?
Oh, okay.
And or actually start rising up to the level of an elite quarterback and just winning these games.
You know what's funny? I saw a Skip Bayless tweet today on Facebook, and I'm going to try to find it. It's actually very good regarding Justin Herbert. It describes it perfectly.
I mean, he pulled out the talent, kept him in the game in the first half. Then the defense finally said, all right, buddy, I got you. And Justin Herbert disappeared in the second half.
So, apparently it was too long. He's saying again about Justin Herbert. Overrated because of his measurables. His rocket arm is too often off target, and he doesn't have great feel for playing quarterback, staring down receivers on key downs. I agree with that. That's what he is.
I didn't see that, but yeah, I mean, it's
got a rocket arm, okay, and
yeah, the stats are there, and like he can get into shootouts, but how many? I mean, this is what we talk about with the Chargers. It's not just it was in the Phillip Rivers era too. It's not just Justin Herbert. It's just like these guys they're just ever so short. They just come up just short, and I hope it's not the theme of his career, but it really has been so far.
No. We'll be right back. It's the AM Drive. We're talking Monday Night Football and something special at the end.
All right, boys and girls, Shank It Golf, one of our favorite sponsors. Look good playing bad on the golf course. Visit shankitgolf.com or head over to mikeandaarondrive.com and click that Shank It Golf logo. When you shop, you're going to look good, but you're going to look good for less when you use promo code AMDrive for 15% off your entire order. Tell them the boys at AM Drive sent you. You are welcome, and we are #Shankful.
I recently won the AM Drive Cup. I was 3 under par. It was very, very promising. Felt good.
I'm proud
victories,
of you.
baby.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
All right. A Monday Night Football, 49ers, Vikings, 49ers 7-point road favorites. Aaron loves that. I'm kidding. The total's at 43. The story of this game so far is they're hyping up is the Vikings like to blitz, but the Vikings also like to turn it over. I think we might get a push here, or I would like to see Kirk Cousins play well, but nah.
This is a tough one because it's like what do you grab onto here? I mean, obviously, you're thinking San Francisco by a million, and then you start looking at like, well, McCaffrey's 50-50, Debo's out, Brock, they're coming off of an ugly loss. You look at the other side and you're like, well, there's no Justin Jefferson. It's Kirk Cousins in prime time. That never goes well.
They just lost to the Bears. Well, they barely beat the Bears.
Yeah, they didn't lose to the Bears, but they struggled, quote unquote, with the Bears, I guess you could say. But like, this is a tough one to really kind of look at and say, what do I do here? But I'm feeling a teaser here.
Woo!
Vikings play close games. We know that. Now, I don't expect them to win. But if you're going to give me 2 touchdowns on a primetime game, I'm going to take the 2 touchdowns and find something, maybe the Thursday night game, maybe something next Sunday. I don't know. That choice is yours. Something you really like. You've already looked ahead. Or maybe something in college you like. But I'm going to take the 7-point teaser. I'm going to call it an open teaser because you can kind of put it with another play. 7-point teaser, Minnesota plus 14. Pick your second side there, whatever, something you like. But you have to obviously put it in by tonight.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like tears are starting to grow on me. How's the brother? Is it doing good?
The brother finally lost.
No!
But we took a little bit of profit. I think we each made like $50 from it.
Good job.
So we started a new one this week, and we lost. We teased. My brother liked the Bucks, and I liked the Rams, and we lost both.
Wow! Thanks, refs.
Yeah. Well, the Bucks missed 2 field goals, and then let Young Hoku walk off with a 59-yarder, 56-yarder, or whatever it was.
Desmond Ridder lost 3 fumbles, and I think they were all in the red zone. That's brutal.
Yeah, it was a tough game for Tampa. I mean, I think they're finally showing their true colors. I just don't know if I wish 3 wins would get you the number 1 pick. It might. We'll see.
It's Pooter, not Pewter anymore.
Yeah, let's play some Pooter and Red football.
Aaron.
Hey, Mike.
So I know it's already started, but you're here again. I appreciate that. So hockey. We got this number 1 guy in Connor Bedard. All Blackhawks things aside here. Kraken are, I think, like this the 3rd worst team in the NHL right now at 1-4-1 or something like that. But how's hockey looking? How are we feeling? Give me the haves and the have-nots early on.
I mean, that's tough. Obviously we're like 5-6 games into it. The have, shout out Captain Lou. His Detroit Red Wings have started out 5-1 in the season. Now I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's pretty good. Boston, of course, is there 5-0 to start the season. They're gonna maybe they'll try to top the season from last year. The Metropolitan, just as everybody predicted, is a big clumpy mess. First to last is 7 points to 4 points, so it's all just a big clump. If you ain't first, you're last at that point. The Avalanche maybe took a little offense to last year's first-round exit by the Kraken. They start out 5-0. And, of course, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Vegas Golden Knights, 6-0.
Wow!
6-0 to start out the season. 5 regulation wins and a nifty little shootout win earlier this year. But, 12 points, obviously leading the Pacific, leading the NHL. They have a 14 goal differential, which is tops in the league as well. So, it's starting out. I wouldn't say as you expected, but some of the early teams, some of the teams that aren't very good, sometimes they start out a little hot and fade. we'll see what happens with the Red Wings. They've put together a 3-year rebuilding process, so maybe it's finally starting to reap the rewards. Sad news though, right now, Connor McJesus is out for 2 to 3 weeks with an injury right now.
Oh, come on. Yeah, that's rough. He's undergoing guess he's being put on the yeah.
I don't know what any of that.
Poor McJesus. Poor McJesus.
Oh God, you were gonna say he's been put on the cross?
Maybe. For 3 weeks, we'll be okay. He'll come back after 3 days, I think it was.
Hey, Mike, how about the NBA? Not to change the subject.
Oh, I love the show. Oh, so the NBA is starting. I believe is Tuesday night. So that's tomorrow night. So we're getting it a day early here. We've got some. I know Bucks and Celtics are the cream of the East, but I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. As our Miami Heat, I think the Heat do make the Eastern Conference Finals and push one of those teams out. I think Celtics do make the finals. And the West is such a dump. But, man, LeBron James looks good again. But I really think Warriors are going to be right there again. I think Kings are going to have another good year. I don't think Nuggets will win back-to-back. I'm sorry. I think they had some nice role players last year that helped a lot. And Jamal Murray's just inconsistent so far. If I had money on it right now, give me Lakers and Celtics in the NBA Finals for the first time in a while. It seems like it's due. I think
10 years.
I think Celtics win it. I think Celtics win it.
I like that. Interesting. Nothing from what shakes out with Philly here with like the James Harden. Is he gonna play or what's the plan?
I just remember. Oh, I think they have to trade him. I just think it's funny that I was once told by fellow Heat fans of America that
they need him. I know you say this all the time.
I was just saying. I just thought it was funny that we wanted James Harden so badly, and he's done very well since that conversation. I think he was on his second team now, about to be on his third. Yeah.
Let's see. I'll try to make it.
Victor Wembanyama looks like he's gonna have a great year.
That guy looks like a freaking Stretch Armstrong. It's insane.
Him and Chet Holmgren might be as advertised, and Zion Williamson looks slimmer and a lot better too.
It's funny you mentioned it. You mentioned Chet Holmgren. I was actually going to say, hot take: Oklahoma City makes the playoffs this year.
SGA is very good. Chet Holmgren's awesome. They've got some. I'm telling you, man, the GM Sam Presti always finds a way to do something crazy with that talent.
Let's see. I'll say. I'll make a fun prediction here. I guess I'll say I'll take Boston as well, because if they stay healthy, that's a really good team. And
I like Porzingis a lot better than other people do.
I don't know. In the West, the West is almost like
West is tough.
West is almost like the AFC. It's like, who goes? I don't trust Kawhi
at all.
So the Clippers are always out for me as long as Kawhi. I want to say Golden State, but they're just
Golden State's tough, dude. They got Kuminga, and I'm telling you, if Chris Paul is anything close to what he can be, sometimes, I mean, that's a Warriors may not be. I think Warriors will be better this year than they were last year, if that helps you.
Yeah, I mean, that road record was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Denver gets back. Denver versus Boston. But I'll say Denver beats the Timberwolves in the conference finals.
A lot of people are buying the Anthony Edwards train. We'll see how that works.
Maybe that was the Team USA thing that happened, even though they didn't win the gold. But
we might see some crappy team. I think Mavericks will be better than I thought they initially would be. I think Kyrie might have a good committed year, but that's like Kawhi Leonard for you. It's just different ends of the spectrum on that, but yeah.
And I just, on principle, I don't want to take the Suns.
Yes, and that's another team I was thinking about, but it's like, again,
I'm sure Kevin Durant. What?
Hi, Grayson Tron. Graydon Tron. We got a comment.
Do you think KD and Harden ruining their legacy? I mean, I think Harden's been ruining his
Oh,
legacy.
Harden's way worse than KD at this point.
The KD one's tough. I mean, obviously, you have people who said KD's legacy was ruined when he went to the Warriors.
No,
Like, those titles aren't real. Your finals. I mean, you basically, David joined Goliath at that point. I liked KD up until the last year in Brooklyn.
yeah, it was rough.
I just think, for them to form that big three with KD, Kyrie, and Harden,
They
and
had
for it-
10 pick, yeah.
and that they never played together. And it seemed like they were bickering like housewives with, they hated Kyrie's situation. And then KD, couldn't come through, got swept out in the first round. Like, I think Harden ruined his legacy. KD's one is tougher.
I don't trust Devin Booker either.
I don't crap on KD for the Warriors, but I think KD's exit from Brooklyn was very sour. And if he never wins with the Suns, because he's the dog with the Suns. He wasn't. Steph Curry was the guy in Golden State. He's the guy in Phoenix. Like, this is KD's team. Chris Paul gone. Devin Booker, yeah, he's been there, but he's not as vocal.
Bradley Beal's supposed to be a good little third option here, which is great.
I mean, you can't hate on that option, but is there enough basketballs on the court for these three guys? I don't know. We'll see.
I like Nurkic. I love the addition. I love what they've done in the offseason with what they were given.
They're a good team. They're going to be a good team. Can they stay healthy is the real big question.
Do they make the conference finals? I know you said no, but
I just predicted
don't think they
Minnesota,
do.
but that was kind of fun. I think if they stay healthy.
Oh.
I know. I can always say if, because that's the same with the Clippers too, man.
I see Lakers, Warriors. I think Pelicans could be sneaky. I think Thunder. I mean, I don't think Suns.
It's a great conference. It's a great It's literally like the Eastern Conference, like the NFC. You have 49ers and you have Eagles. You have Milwaukee and you have Boston. I mean,
and Miami Heat.
I know you love your Heat, and yeah, they had a hell of a run last year. I mean, you never count them out. Never count Eric Spoelstra out.
Mm-hmm.
If the Phoenix Suns are healthy, they're the best team in the West.
Defensively, though,
does that matter anymore in the NBA?
I don't know, man. That's tough. Like, as far as the legacy question is concerned, I trust Kevin Durant more than I trust Harden, but I don't know what that's saying at this point. You're right. If he doesn't win in Phoenix, that's a problem.
Great, and we appreciate that question. That was a great way to end off the program there.
Yes.
So, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to comment in the chats. We'll obviously address them if we get them. But in the meantime, in between time, make sure that you are hitting up MikeandAaronDrive.com to shop, to visit the sponsors, to check out the socials, and, of course, the YouTube #subscribe. If you subscribe, which we're up to how many now?
63.
We will be very #shameful for that.
Woo!
But once again, enjoy your work week, your sports week. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Take that 14 points. Find another bet to make. And for Michael Carvelis, I'm Aaron Crouch saying gamble responsibly. And, of course, as always,
Drive safe. I'm getting canceled again.
attaboy.